God damn! Ptah is actually really awesome for Fafnir. I completely did not see this coming. I did not see this happening at all. Take a look at all the turns that I'm taking in Fafnir. 16, 32 turns, 36 turns, 37 turns, 34 turns, and we have like some 50 plus turns. I think this is like probably really terrible RNG. We have 36 here, another 47 turns. Probably something went wrong. We can go ahead and check it out in just a little bit. 33 turns. So we have as few as what, 32 turns? 32 turns. Oh my goodness, amazing. I'm actually very curious to see how this happened. Let's just take a look at how this made 32 turns. So the strat that I want to show you guys using Ptah here. Let's take a look. Okay, so in the boss wave itself, because Ptah actually gives the rest of your allies extra DPS whenever they attack out of their turn, which is essentially our Yunchuan here. Take a look at who is getting frozen. It's Ptah who is getting frozen over here, and she will constantly get frozen just because Yunchuan tends to take the final hit with his assist attack, with his extra pursuit, should I call it, right? Like his pursuit attack. So whenever Ptah is not frozen, Yunchuan would actually deal extra support damage, right? As you can see, that a white number at the top, and therefore Ptah, she will get frozen, and she will constantly get frozen, and this is the best thing to happen for your lineup because the rest of your espers can just attack with free reign. It's amazing how this is like just insanely powerful. And look at it, even though KFC attacked, Ptah got frozen instead, and the reason for that is because Alice actually commanded KFC to attack Fafnir, which then that is how Ptah determines KFC to be attacking outside of her turn, because it was an assist attack. Therefore, as you can see, Ptah just get perpetually frozen over here. Oh my goodness, this is so freaking cool. And there you go, 32 turns. What the heck? Freaking insane, dude. Freaking insane. Oh, and yeah, my best record was actually 30 turns. It's actually faster than 32 turns, which is like, oh my goodness. It's crazy. Okay, anyway, let's take a look at our team here. Okay, so this is a team. I'm going to show you all of our equipment and all that. It's not really that endgamey, it's just that the requirements in your build needs to be at, I wouldn't say endgame level. It's actually quite easy for you to achieve some of the stats here. I'm actually going way beyond whatever that is required for this setup to work. So let's take a look at all our equipments here. Starting with Yunchuan, he needs to be R2. And I know mine's at R6, okay? I'm kind of a gamer, but R2 is where you need him to be. If he's below R2, this is not going to work. So he don't need to have full crit rate. He needs to have 85% crit rate, but I gave him full crit rate because I'm using him in like Sentinel Hunt, right? So I need him to have full crit rate here. You do not need to have full crit rate. 85% is good enough, as in 10% plus 75%. That is good enough. And the rest goes into his DPS output. And he needs to be, I think, the second fastest DPS Esper here. So our fastest DPS Esper is actually our Gabrielle, which we'll get into in just a bit. So this is how you want to build him. Just give him a little bit of accuracy for him to land the slow debuff, which is mostly essential for the two followers on either side, because the follower on the right actually dispels the debuffs from the boss, which can be a problem sometimes, especially when you're using Yunchuan over here. You don't want his third eye seal to be dispelled, right? His third eye seal here. That is very important to have. Now next, we have Alice, who is incredibly important. Oh my goodness, addition of her is like insane. And the reason for that is because obviously her normal attack commands one of your allies to assist, which, if the ally assists and breaks the HP bar of Fafnir, that is going to force Ptah to actually take the last hit because she has this extra DPS over here. I'm jumping around a lot, I know. Okay, anyway, at least the way you need to build her is just slower than twice the speed of your slowest Esper. So my slowest Esper here is my Li Guang, surprisingly. So she needs to be less than 304 speed, essentially. That is all. So 295 is a little bit overkill, but hey, you know, if it works, it works. You don't need to have her on Avatar set, it is not important at all. Just make her fast and make sure that she survives, that's it. Next up, we have Gabrielle here, and the way you want to build her is a DPS version of her kit. So give her a lot of attack power, give her a lot of speed. And why this is so crucial is because on the first wave, her AoE attacks is actually going to do quite significant damage. So her third skill, which does not scale according to speed, is still going to be able to deal pretty good damage, I would say. But don't worry, I'll show you the manual run later on so that it's easier for you to understand what's happening. And of course, her defense break here scales according to speed, which allows her to do quite a lot of damage. And her first skill, yeah, it also scales according to your speed. And I have not actually maxed her first skill, which it's something that I could consider. 140% is actually quite huge. And now we have Ptah, who is like the star of the show, and she is so freaking key for this team to work. And this team is quite safe, I would say. So far I've done 20 runs, I failed once. But actually I tweaked something around. I'm not so sure whether is my success rate going to be that low anymore. I think we are way above 95% at this point. We are going to do another Blitz later on. So the way you want to build her is just give her a lot of HP. And one thing you must understand is this extra damage is actually true damage according to her HP. So if she has like, I don't know, 43,000 HP right now, then the true damage portion is going to be 5% of 43k, which is about 2,000 plus. It's not a lot, but what it needs to do is to just take the last hit. That is all. And her second skill is just, extra buffs and all that. I wouldn't recommend you to run her on the Astral set that I'm using here. I'm not so sure why I gave her the Astral set. Maybe it's just because of the speed requirement. But you do not need to run her on Astral set, and I wouldn't recommend you to run her on Astral set as well. So the thing is, it is ideal that her third skill is perpetually on cooldown. So what's so key here is that whenever she's frozen, she actually does not take a turn. Which means that her cooldown does not actually reduce at all. Because she never takes a turn, her cooldown never decreases at all. So please do not run her on Ocean set. That actually kills the combo here. So yeah, that is Ptah. And finally, we have Li Guang here, who needs to be the slowest Esper for no particular reason aside from the fact that she's just here for more DPS and buff stealing. So if you do not want to use Li Guang, it is fine. You can use Lin as well. I feel like they should perform exactly the same because they both steal buffs, which is quite important in trying to make sure that the boss does not have too many shields, something like that. And the way you want to build her is just, the slowest DPS Esper at least 150 speed with good DPS and good crit damage, and that's about it. You just need 85% crit on her and she's going to perform exactly as she needs to. Same goes for Gabrielle as well, 85% crit rate. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at the manual run and I'll explain along the way. Stop. Okay. So we start off with our buff coming from Alice. So ideally, one of your Espers here need to have the shield equipped, which I think is coming from Gabrielle, but you can have it on Alice as well. It's perfectly fine. Now, Gabrielle, according to her AI, will use her third skill first. You see the damage that she did, 36k. This is enough for us to kill everything when using Yunchan's third skill, which is of course AI as well. Now in this second wave, she will just attack whoever she wants to, so we're actually just gonna let her AI move. Okay, so she's gonna attack the mid boss, okay? And now Gabrielle will actually use her her second skill. Do pretty decent damage, right? 60k. And let's see what Yunchan does over here. He kills the boss, okay, that's fine. And now, this is extremely essential that she uses her third skill now, because this puts her third skill on cooldown when entering the boss wave. Very, very freaking important. She's gonna use it on the right Esper here. There you go. So now that she's on cooldown, whenever we have assist attacks, that is actually going to automatically trigger this effect, and she's going to perpetually freeze herself, which is like super freaking cool. And now Li Guang will just use the third skill on this other ad here. Boom. That's about it. Moving on to the boss wave. So it's very important Li Guang uses her third skill here, because Li Guang is actually going to take one of the faster turns here because she gains speed whenever any of her skills are on cooldown. She gains 18 speed. So because she gains 18 speed, she's actually going to remove some of these stacks over here so that when the boss finally reduces his first HP bar, the boss does not have like 21 stacks, for example, right? So the AI is actually going to just normal attack the boss here, and oh, okay, no assists were made, it's totally fine. And then Gabrielle is going to buff us with immunity, which is perfect. And now Li Guang is going to snatch some of those buffs away, hopefully. Okay, we got 2 of those buffs, which is like perfect. I think that's like the maximum. And now we're going to use our third skill, and we're going to drop the boss below like 1 HP bar. And Ptah is going to get frozen here, right? As we have discussed. So that is the gist of it. And it's so amazing because Ptah is just going to get herself perpetually frozen, because we are always going to make sure that we remove the shield and drop the boss by 1 HP bar before the boss actually takes a turn. So let me just try to illustrate what's happening here. Okay, there you go. Now Ptah gets frozen again, right? Really cool. Now normal attack, just get rid of all the stacks of whatever buffs that the boss has. And final stack of buff, nice. And now Ptah gets frozen again. This is like freaking hilarious, dude. I love it so much. It's so fun to see. And there you go, Ptah gets perpetually frozen. And whenever Fafnir does this freezing thing, he actually moves all the way to the back. He kind of like takes 1 turn, so to speak. Oh my god, sorry about that. He kind of takes 1 turn, so to speak. So he's never going to damage us, which is why we do not need a healer at all. It is just so freaking powerful. This team is very strong. And the success rate is very high as well, which I love to see. There you go, that's it. I think this is probably about 30 turns, or well, at least like 30 plus. Let's see how long it took us. 35 turns, okay, very nice. Okay, so that is the run. Let me just blitz this one more time just to confirm whether is this team safe or not, right? So we're gonna blitz. I just bought 2 stamina packs, so you can just confirm the numbers at the top right so that you will know that I am not cheating or anything like that. Holy shit! Oh my god, so good! This team is so good! Oh my god, I'm so freaking excited. It took me the whole day to just design this team around Ptah, and it's freaking amazing! Oh my goodness, I'm so happy about this. And as you can see, I'm currently ranked 22, so no one else has used this team. I designed it myself. But hopefully this works for you. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play. And as always, I will see you in the next video.